My name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and I have an astronomy lesson to share with you today. We are using our live education Waldorf curriculum, and this is the astronomy main lesson book. Today's topic is the Earth tilt, and this is one of several lessons that begins this topic. We are using our main lesson books by A Child's Dream. These measure 9.5 inches by 12 inches, and they have white pages and blue pages for the illustrations. We have several chalk pastel pencils that we're using for the illustrations. This one is by Generals and it works pretty good. I do have another brand here that works even better. Links to all of the resources that we're using for our main lesson block are on the blog post that accompanies this video, and you can find that link in the description box below. Today's lesson is on the Earth's tilt, and this concept can be very challenging to understand. So we're going to be explaining this lesson in a couple of different ways. The first way is to present the lesson orally. The next way is to have an illustration, which I'm doing now. And the third way is to do an activity using a flashlight and a globe in order to really understand how the seasons change throughout the year. Typically, I do the illustration first, followed by the written narration, but in this case, I wrote up the lesson first, and now we're working on the illustration. I am doing this in advance of actually presenting this to my daughter, so I am preparing my notes and the illustration so that when I deliver this lesson, she can then copy the illustration and then write up her own original narration. The narration that's written here are a summary of my notes that I'm going to give as an oral lesson. I'm not going to read this lesson. And when she is writing up her lesson, she can either review these notes or just write it from memory following the lesson presentation. Our lessons usually take about 3 days. We have a presentation, we have a day of doing our illustration, and then we have a day of writing up our narration. This illustration has the sun in the center, and then the planet Earth is drawn 4 times to show each phase for the 4 seasons, and this is for the northern hemisphere. And with each Earth, you can see that it's drawn on a tilt, and I have blacked out part of the Earth so that you can really see what part of the Earth the sun is shining on. I also included an illustration of the moon. When you see illustrations like this, you don't usually see the moon accompanying the Earth on its orbit around the sun, and I did want to include that. And then I decided to add the seasons around each portion of this illustration just to help us really understand how the Earth's tilt informs how we have our seasons. The last thing I'm going to do is add an ayah from the Quran. Whenever possible, we're trying to include a religious aspect to these lessons, and so I decided to do this on the illustration since I did not include it in the written narration portion. All of the ayahs that we've included in our astronomy main lesson block are on the blog post that accompanies this video, and you can find the link in the description box below. So this is the final look at the lesson with the illustration on that beautiful blue paper and the written portion on the left side. You do need to use a matte fixative to seal this. It is a spray that you use in a well-ventilated area, and that way the chalk will not transfer onto the other paper. I hope that you enjoyed this look at our astronomy lesson. Don't forget to check out the blog post that accompanies this video, where you can find more information on the resources we use for this main lesson block. You can find the link to that blog post in the description box below. And if you'd like to see how we're homeschooling on a daily basis, you can find me on my website at pepperandpine.com.